Hey everyone, my name is Ashok Gujral, and today I'll be doing the May 2022 math calculator section, section 4. Let's get started. The first question says the function f is defined by f of x is equal to 9x minus 16. What is the value of f of 3? So what we would do here is substitute 3 for the function. So f of x is 9x minus 16. So that would mean that f of 3 is equal to 9 times 3 minus 16. So that means that it's equal to 27 minus 16, which is equal to 11. That's choice C. That's how you do question 1. Question 2. Which equation has the same solution as the given equation? 6x minus 7 is equal to 12. So notice how they're given in the terms of 6x, meaning that if you add 7 on both sides, you would get 6x is equal to 19, which matches choice D. And so that is our answer for question 2. Question 3. In the graph of linear function f is shown. What is the y-intercept of the graph of f? So what we would do here is, in the graph of the linear function f is shown. What is the y-intercept of the graph? So you have a line going downwards with a negative slope because it's going downwards. Going downwards. Slope is right here, and y-intercept is right there, so it'd be 0, 1, 2. The y-intercept would be 2. It's always in the form of 0 and then a number. So that in this case it would be 0, 2. Choice B. Question 4. The graph of the linear function p is shown. What equation defines p? Once again, the line is going downwards, meaning negative slope. So y is equal to mx plus b. That is a general formula of a line. So you need to keep that in mind. So you have a general formula, right? And so you can also determine the y-intercept. The y-intercept is when, like you said, it was a 0, some specific number on the y-intercept. So in this case, it'd be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It intersects at the 5 at the y-intercept, so you know it's 0, 5. And since it's above the x-axis, you know it's positive y-intercept. Meaning is y is negative mx plus 5. So it can't be this one and it can't be this one because it has to have positive 5. Now, since the slope is going downwards, it has to have negatives, which both of these choices have. Now, you can determine what the slope is by picking 2 points. So let's pick this point and this point. Then it goes down 3 units, and then it goes down, it goes right 1 unit. So that means it would be rise over run. Since it's negative, it would go down instead of rising. So it'd be negative 3 over 1, which is equal to negative 3, which is, if you plug into the formula, it's negative 3x plus 5, which is choice A. And that's how you solve question 4 of this test. And now let's move on to the next question. Question 5. Of the 50 states in the United States, 12 states are in the Midwest region. So, you know, it's 12 out of 50. What percent of the states in the United States are in the Midwest region? So it's asking for the percentage. So what you would do is what we have right here, Midwest over total. You can use a calculator in this section. So if you plug in 12 divided by 50, you should get 24. You should get 24. You should get 24%. Choice B. Sorry. Question 6. Question 6 and 7 refer to the following information. Janice raises chickens. She uses the equation shown to estimate the total daily feed intake T in pounds for X male and Y female chickens that are between 20 and 35 days old. Sorry. Using the given equation, Janice estimates that the total daily feed intake for her chicken is 90 pounds. So if it's 90 pounds, you know the daily intake is 90 pounds is equal to 0.32x to 0.29y. If Janice has 100 male chickens, which would be represented by x, you could plug in 100 for x. You get 90 is equal to 0.32 times 100, which is 32, plus 0.29y. How many female chickens does she have? Because that represents female chickens. So what we can do here is subtract 32 to get 90 minus 32 to get 58 is equal to 0.29y divided by 0.29. Y is equal to 50 divided by 0.29, 200. And that is your answer, choice B. Yes, so now next question, question 7. Which equation estimates the total weekly feed intake W in pounds for X male and Y female chickens that are between 20 and 35 days old? So now you have the original equation, which is T is equal to 0.32 X and then plus 0.29 Y, right? And now what you have to do is since this is the daily feed, right? Daily feed is equal to 1 day. Now, since it's asking in terms of weeks, how would you get 1 day to 7 days? Because the 7 days is a week. You multiply by 7. So if you multiply the left side by 7, you have to multiply the right side by 7. So you get 7 days is equal to 7 times 0.32 plus 0.29y as the right side. 7 days is equal to week, which is also represented by W. And then you rewrite the equation. 0.29y. And that is your equation for weekly, and that matches choice D for 7. Next question, question 8. So you have to realize from these questions that the questions are easier in the beginning and they tend to get harder and harder as the questions progress. And it's a lot of algebra based, so you have to know your algebra well and be able to manipulate. That's the main trick for these questions. Question 8. Function g is defined by g of x is equal to 4x squared minus 3. For what positive value of x is g of x equal to 13? So what they're asking is for what value of x is the y value equal to 13? Meaning what you could do here is set the 4x squared minus 3 is equal to 13. You can add 3 on both sides. Then you get 4x squared is equal to 16. Divided by 4, you get x squared is equal to 4. And then you can take the square root on both sides. You get x is equal to plus or minus 4. This is asking for the positive value. You know it has to be plus 4, which is choice B for question 8. And so that's how you do this question. You just have to know manipulation, algebra based. Next question. In triangle ABC, the measure of angle is ABC, and then you have is 23. And the measure of angle B is 97. In triangle DEF, measure of angle D is 23, and measure of angle E is 97. Which of the following additional pieces of information is needed to determine whether triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF? You don't need to know the measure of angle C because you can calculate it, and then that would give you a angle. And this would also, since they're equal, they would give you that angle. So, and then the measure of angle F is also not need to be given because you can calculate it. And since you don't really need a measure of angle C and F, no additional information is needed to determine that is needed to determine whether triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. So so what you have to do, you can just realize that for this triangle, you don't have to, like most of the time when the SAT puts no additional information is needed, it's usually never the correct answer. But sometimes there are going to be questions where there might have scenarios where no additional information is actually not needed in this, and this is the case for that. So just you have to keep that in mind and realize that for this type of question, you don't need another angle because you can calculate it by yourself, and you can follow one of the theorems to show the similarity between two triangles. Question 10. Which of the following linear equations is the most appropriate model for the data in the shown in the scatter plot? So you know that it has to be a line with negative slope, right? Because it's going downwards. Meaning it can't be this one and it can't be this one because they're with a positive slope. And the y-intercept is around the 6 mark. So you know it's y is equal to mx negative mx plus 6. So since 6 has to be positive, it can't be choice C, it has to be choice A. And so that is our answer for question 10. You have to like match. The main trick is get pieces of information and then eliminate choices. See, this is a very effective choice, a very strategy, because then you can make sure to take one piece and eliminate some choices, take another piece, eliminate another choice. Then you can get to your final answer choice, and it matches both pieces of information. Question 11. The current density in a wire is defined as the current in milliamperes flowing through the wire divided by the cross-sectional area of the wire in square millimeters. What is the current density in milliamperes per square millimeter? So milliamperes over millimeters. In a copper wire with a cross-sectional area of 6 square millimeters, when the current is 15 milliamperes. So 15 milliamperes divided by 6 would give you can use a calculator. 15 divided by 6 is 2.5, because it tell you what it is over. It's the milliamperes over the square millimeter. So you would have to do 15 milliamperes over 6 square millimeters, and you get 2.5 as your density, which is choice B. Question 12. What is the radius of the circle in the xy plane with the equation x is equal to x minus 9 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 64? So when this is the equation of a circle. Equation of a circle, and then they have x minus a squared plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared. A and b is the center, and then r squared is the radius squared. Meaning if 64 is r squared, r is equal to 8, meaning that the radius is 8. Choice C. So another a way to solve these type of problems is compare given equations with general equations, because most of the time the questions ask you to find the components of the general equations, and if you compare the given equation with the general equations, you can always like solve the components to find the answer. Next question, question 13. If 6 over x plus 1 is equal to 3, what is the value of x plus 1? So one trick I use very often is switching everything around. So if they give you a 6 over x plus 1 is equal to 3, they're asking for x plus 1, you could switch everything around and get the reciprocal. So you get x plus 1 over 6 is equal to the reciprocal of 3, which is 1/3. Now you can cross multiply, and then you get 3 is x plus 1 is equal to 6. And then divide everything by 3. X plus 1 gives you 2. And that is your answer, choice C. So that's a very simple and easy way to solve this type of question using reciprocals. Question 14. Fahari kicks a ball on the ground into the air. 1 second after being kicked, the ball reaches its maximum height of 16 feet above the ground, which is the vertex. And it tells you a quadratic later on in the question. And 2 seconds after being kicked, the ball is back on the ground. A quadratic function models the height. So it's something along like this. Models the height h of t in feet over the ball 2 seconds after Fahari kicks in, which equation defines the relationship. So basically what you do is, since it's curving up, it has to be a negative a because it's curving downward, like curving this way. So meaning negative a. If it was this way, if the quadratic was shaped that way, then it would be positive a, which is why they have the negative signs. Now, since they give you the maximum height, that also refers to the vertex. So after 1 second, it's the height is 16, so it would be 1,16, meaning it would be, since it's 16, 1,16, so h of t, so h of 1, it would have to, it can't be a and it can't be d because the y has to refer, 16 feet has to represent the y value because that's the feet. This would be seconds. This should be feet. Feet is 16, so 16 would be the vertical shift, meaning that's plus 16. Can't be negative 16 because it doesn't go down below the earth 16 feet. So that doesn't make sense. So C can't be limited. C can't be out as well. And so that's how you know 14 is choice B, because at 1 second, the ball is up 16 feet in the air, represented by plus sign. Okay, and that's how you solve that question. And that's how you solve that question. Question 15. Okay, the scatter plot shows the relationship between two variables, x and y. So you have x and then you have y. A line of best fit is also shown. For how many data points is the actual y value at least one greater than the y value predicted by the line of best fit? So this is the predicted, or this is the line of best fit. And these are the dots are actual. They're actual points. The actual points. So what you would do here is, so what you would see is how many points are at least one greater. So this isn't one greater because it's right here, and that doesn't amount to 1. So this is 1 right here, should be like around 0.5. So that doesn't count. This is below, doesn't count. This is at 5, and this is at 6. So this counts as 1. This is below, does not count. This is above 1, so this counts, and this is below. So it'd be 2 points, which is choice B. For this type of questions, trick is to read the question carefully. Question 16. A 3,000 piece rectangular jigsaw puzzle has 216 edge pieces, and the rest are inside pieces. The equation 48r plus 216 gives you 3,000. So 48r plus 216, 3,000, which is the total. It describes a situation where R represents the number of rows that contain inside pieces. Which of the following is the best interpretation of 48R in the context? If 216 is the edge pieces, by default, this has to be the inside pieces, because in the inside plus the edge pieces gives you the total. Plus, it also makes sense because R is the number of rows. So if it's 48 times number of rows, the 48 represents number of pieces per row. So that would mean that 48 are inside pieces. But like I said, 48, if one component is the edge pieces, the other piece has to be the inside pieces to give you the total amount of pieces in the jigsaw puzzle. And so, which is why for question 16, choice D makes the most sense. 48 total pieces makes no sense because that 3,000 is the total. 48 R pieces in each row, that makes no sense because 48 is pieces in each row, not 48 R. 48 are edge pieces. That's incorrect because choice C says edge piece 48 are edge pieces, which is wrong because 216 is the edge number of edge pieces. So choice D makes the most sense. Question 17. Which ordered pair x comma y is a solution to the given system of equations in the xy plane? So they give you two equations. So the best thing I would do is plug and see, plug and chug. You can see plug and see which choice works. But the choice, remember that the choice has to satisfy both equations. Well, let's try our first one, -2, 3. So you have -2, negative 3 times -2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 7 greater than 3, correct, that works. And then -1 times 2, -1 half times -2 is just 1, plus 1 is 2. 2 is not greater than 3, it's eliminated. Choice B, -3 times 1 is -3, plus 1 is -2, not greater than 2, eliminated. Choice C, -3 times 0 is 0, plus 1, 1 is not greater than 2, incorrect. So our only option is choice D, and that's how you solve this question. Is you can do plug and chug and see which one works. Instead of solving it and making mistakes, you can just see which one works because they give you 4 option choices, and one of them has to be correct. So you can do that, but let's double check choice D. -3 times -1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, which is greater than 1, that's correct. And then -1 times -1/2 is 1/2 plus 1. 1.5 is greater than 1, which is also correct. Choice D is correct. Question 18. The table shows the result of a poll that was used to determine support for a county proposal. The results are characterized by a county and opinion. If one person who responded to the poll is selected at random, which of the following statements results in the greatest value? So this is a probability question, and they give you givens as the choices. So a given is represented by, let's say, P of A given B. That would mean that probability of B, and then the probability of A and B, as that's how that givens work. Given probabilities work. So let's say the probability of the person is undecided, given that the person is from county 1. So given that the person is from county 1, you have 1601, and then the person is undecided, 186. So 186 over 1601, and then you have, given that the person is from county 2, meaning 1144, a person is undecided, 186. 186 is the undecided, and then 1144 is the county 2. Now you have, given that the person is undecided, 186 is from county 1. Given the probability of the person is from county 1, given that the person is undecided. Wait, let me see if this is let me redo this because I'm confusing myself now. Okay. Given that the probability that the person is undecided, so that's undecided. So 95 out of 11601. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Given that the person is from county 2, 1144, given that the person is undecided, 91. Okay, now you have, given that the person is undecided, 186. And now you have from county 1, 1601. And you probably get the person is from county 2. From county 2 and the person undecided. Given that the person is undecided, meaning that it's the person is from county 1, Okay, this makes sense. Given that the person was county 2, the person is undecided. Now, given that the person is undecided, then the person undecided, meaning it's 186, and given from county 1, 95. Okay, this makes sense. And then 186 as well, because it's given undecided count from county 2, 91. So the closest one is choice C, because if you do all the if you do all the fractions, you get 95 over 1601, which is around 5.9%. 91 divided by 1144 is around 7.9%. 95 divided by 186 is 51%. And then 91 divided by 186 is 48.9%, meaning that choice C is the correct answer for question 18. So you just can't be confused by the probabilities. You just have to make sure that understand what they're asking for and then rearrange it appropriately. Question 19. The bar graph shows the number of commercials Albert saw each day that he watched television last week. For these 5 days, how much greater is the mean number of commercials per day than the median number of commercials per day? So for these type of questions, you can use your calculator. And so what you can do is just put in the data, and the calculator would give you your mean and your median, and you can just use those numbers appropriately. So you go to stat, you go to stack function, edit. You could clear your calculator. And then use Sunday would be 16. Monday would be 5. Tuesday would be 7. Wednesday would be 8. And then Thursday would be 14. And then you go stat, calc, one variable stats. One variable stats, list level 1, calculate. You have X bar as 10. Median has 8. So it's asking for how much greater is the mean number of commercials per day than the median number. So it'd be 10 minus 8, which give you 2 as the answer, which is choice A for 19. And that's how you do this question. For these type of questions, you're going to use the calculator, and it will show you how to do this problem. It will spit out the numbers to you. 20. A county school board in a certain state is proposing a start time of 7:30 a.m. for all high schools in the county. A sample of 100 high school students was selected at random for all high school students in the county. The selected students were asked whether they approved or proposed change in the school start time, and 70 students responded that they did not approve. Which of the following is the largest population to which the results can be generalized? So the largest population was the population, all high schools in the county. So meaning that the largest population is generalization could be made is all high schools in the county, because that's where the population was taken from. So it can't be all high schools in the state, because that's not where all the students were taken from. It can't be 70 students who responded, because if it's random and randomly chosen, then there's more the randomization, meaning that the data could be trusted. All the 100 students who were surveyed, that's not correct as well. Choice C has to be the correct answer for 20. Because since the population is from all high schools in the county, and it was randomly, the students were randomly selected, which is states, random from all high schools, then it makes sense that all high school students in the county would be generalized to. Question 21 and 22 refer to the following information. The bar graph shown summarizes the total number of businesses in thousands and the total number of tourism-related businesses in thousands in Iceland for each of 7 years. 21. Tourism-related businesses employed 13.5 thousand people in Iceland in 2009. 2009, which of the following is the closest to the mean number of employees per tourism-related business in Iceland in 2009? So they give you 13.5 thousand people in 2009, and then they tell you the closest mean number of employees per tourism-related, per meaning division. And tourism-related businesses is in grade, so 0.58. So you would do 13.5 divided by 0.58, put that in your calculator, and you should get around 23.275, which rounds to 23. Choice C. So what the key trick is, pay attention to wording. Since it said per, you know that you would have to divide the two numbers and get the mean number of employees per tourism related businesses in Iceland in 2009. And so that's why 21 is choice C. 22. In 2008, what percentage of total businesses in Iceland were tourism related? So now in 2008, we have to look at this value right here. So what percent of total businesses, which is 2.6, so that would be the denominator, were tourism related. Tourism related was 0.52. So it's like it's asking for a percentage. So it'd be, you put in your calculator 0.52 divided by 2.6, which is the total, you would get 0.2, meaning 20% matches to choice B for 22. And that's how you would do question 22. Let's now move on to 23. The heat capacity of a substance is the amount of energy in joules required to raise the temperature 1 gram of substance by 1 degree Celsius. This is very important in chemistry. It's a very important chemistry concept. The heat capacity of water is approximately 4.2 joules over grams times Celsius. Approximately how much energy in joules is required to raise the temperature 1 gram of water from 22 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. So what you have to do here is realize the units. You have 4.2 joules over grams times Celsius. The goal is to find the amount of energy, which is measured in joules. So what we have to do is cancel out gram units and degree Celsius units. So that you have to find the difference or the delta in temperature, which is a difference in temperature. So 30 minus 22 would be the delta, would be the change in temperature, would be 8, would be 8 degrees Celsius times 1 gram of water, because that's what they said they wanted. So it would be, you put that in your calculator again, 4.2 times 8 times 1 gives you 33.6 joules, which is equal to, if you round up, to 34 joules, which is choice C for 23. And that's what you have to do. You just have to know the units that they're asking for and just multiply correctly and plug it in your calculator correctly. 24. We're getting closer to being done. The given equation models the value of an antique dresser T years after its restoration. This is in years, where 0 is less than or equal to T, or less than or equal to 5. Which of the following equations best models the value of the dresser M months after its restoration, where 0 is less than or equal to M, which is less than or equal to 60. So what you have to realize is that they gave you an equation where they have the initial value is an exponential. And then, it increases exponential growth because it's greater than 1, meaning that it grows, percent grows, and T is time. And so it's asking for in months instead of years. So let's say you have 2 years. Let's say you have 24 months, right? 24 months, how would you get 24 months in 2 years? You would have to do 24 months divided by 12 months, because it's 12 months in 1 year, you get 2 years, right? So that's the same process that we use for the equation. You won't have M months because that won't make sense because you're dividing the initial, which doesn't help with the time aspect of the equation. That's incorrect. B doesn't make sense because then you're changing the amount, that rate that it grows, which is also incorrect. C makes sense because, like we said before, if you do 24 months divided by 12, you get 2 years, which is T years, which matches what we have here. D does not make sense because 12 times 24 months just gives you a large number of months, which doesn't convert into years. So that's why D is also incorrect, which is why if we cancel out using process of elimination, we know that choice C is correct for 24. Now, question 25. How many distinct real solutions does the given equation have? So what I would suggest doing is expand. That's the easiest way, I think. So what you would do here is you have x minus 5 squared. The property of easily solving or expanding this would be x minus a squared is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. All right, this is a and b, sorry. So what you would do here is a is 5, a is x, b is -5, or a is 5. So in this property, it would be x squared minus 2 times x times 5 plus 5 squared. And meaning that would be x squared minus 10x plus 25, and then just add everything else. So it'd be plus 10x minus 50 plus 25 is equal to 0. Now you can combine like terms. You get x squared minus, or these cancels out, plus 10 minus 10, and then the 50 is also cancel out. You just left with x squared is equal to 0. If you solve for x is equal to 0, which is one solution, meaning it's choice B. And so it's a very straightforward problem. It's a lot of algebra involved, but once you're good with the algebra, master algebra concepts, then this would be an easy problem. You just have to realize what they're asking for in the question. 26. One of the two equations in the linear system is given. The system has exactly one solution meaning one intersection. Which equation could be the other equation in the system? So what you could do here is take this equation, for x minus y is equal to 3, and plug it into your calculator, and then let the calculator see how many equations or how many intersections there are. So you can do 4. You can convert everything to the y equals to mx plus b form. So you get y is equal to 4x minus 3, 4x minus 3, and then you can convert this into y is equal to 4x plus 6. And then this one would be 4x minus 3, which is same. This won't be it because it's the same equation. Meaning infinite solution. That's automatically wrong. We can plug in this one, which is y is equal to negative 4x plus 5, negative 4x plus 5, and then you can do 4x minus 5. Y is equal to 4x minus 5. You can do graph. That's the first equation, second equation, third equation, fourth equation. First, second, third. So the third equation would be first, second, third, choice C. And so you can just base it off your calculator, wherever it intersects once, that shows that that is the correct answer. And so based on the calculator, choice C is correct. 27. Drawing of an object has a scale where length of 4 inches on the drawing represents an actual of 9 feet, which is 108 inches, because it's easier to convert everything into inches than feet. 9 times 12 is 108 inches. That's how I got that. Now it's asking the actual length of an object is 12 y feet, meaning it's 144 inches, 144 y inches, right? So you would do actual is 144 y inches. Now, which expression represents the length in inches of the object in the drawing, which is x? You can cross multiply. You get 108 is equal to, plug your 144 times 4, 576 y. X, and then divided by 576 divided by 108 to get x is equal to 576 over 108 is equal to 5.33, which is choice C, because if you do 16 divided by 3, you get 5.33. 4 over 3 is 1.33, 3 is equal to 3, and then 27 is 27. So these choices are incorrect. Just using basic proportions. Proportions will help you solve this problem. It's just reading the question as careful as possible. 28. The dot plot shows each represents a data set. Which of the following statements best compares the means and the standard deviations of the two data sets? So you can also, for this question, you can also plug everything into your calculator and let it spit out the standard deviation and the means. So you can go to stat and then edit. And then so you can have the 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. You can have 2 as the frequency, and this has frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and then 25 has 4 data, 30 has 2. And you can go to stats, calc, one variable, frequency list is 2, L2, and then you get mean is, wait, let me double check everything, make sure everything's good. 10 has 2, 20 has 4, and 30 has 2. Okay, yeah. And so on 28, okay. 25 has 5, sorry about that. Now it should be, yeah, double check. Okay, yeah, X mean 20, and then the standard deviation is 5.848. And now for X and then standard deviation, you can first data set B, you go back to stat, edit, each data set data point has 4 points. So 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4. Variable stat calculate mean is also 20. And the standard deviation is 7.254, meaning the mean is the same, meaning is equal. Choice C and D are out, mean are equal. Standard deviation of A is less than the standard deviation of B. Choice A is correct for 28. So there was a question for the calculator solve for us, and just make sure you plug in the data correctly, and they can solve this question. 29. The expression 0.7x represents the result of a decreasing of a positive quantity x by what percent? So usually it's 100%, right? But now this is 0.7x, meaning it was 70%, meaning it decreased by 30%. So that's how you get 100% minus 30. Basic calculation, you get 70. If you divide it by 100, you get 0.7x. And that's how you get choice B for this question. It was a very tricky problem in terms of wording. Trick is understanding wording. 30. The graph of y of x plus 1 is shown. So this is shown. Which equation defines the function f? So what you could do here is so you have a function, right, where it's plus 1, the vertical shift, plus 1. If you shift everything down 1 point, you should get something like this. This should be right here, right here, should be right here. Something like that. So if that is the case, then you know it will be, let's use as a point. Sorry, let's use a point. Okay. Yeah, so let's say this is 0, 2, or you can do 1 and 4. 1 and 4 is f of x, f of 1 plus 1 gives you 4, right? So minus 1, f of 1 is equal to 3. So which of these equations would give you f of 1 is equal to 3? 2 to the 1 is 2, that's wrong. 3 to the 1 is 3, correct. 2 to the 1 is 2 plus 1, 3 also correct. 3 to the 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. So these are eliminated. Now we can pick another point, 0 and 2. 0 and 2. So now we have 0. So f of 0 is 2. Yeah, so what you could do next is the fact that 1 and 4, 1. If you're, okay, so let me look at this again, 0 and 2. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Simple mistake. Okay, I get it now. If you plug in 0 and 2, right? You should get you should get 2. So when you plug in f of 0, you get 2 of 0, which is 1, plus 1 is 2, and then you have to plug 1 again to get 3, which doesn't match the 2 here. So that's why C is eliminated. But if you plug in the 0 here, you get 3 of 0, which is 1, plus the 1 to get 1 plus 1 is 2, and that matches the y-intercept, which is what I'm doing right here. I'm just plugging f of x into here, and then plugging x, adding an extra 1 to get choice B as the correct answer for 30. Now that makes more sense. Okay, yeah. Now we're done with the multiple choice section, and now we have the fill-ins. These get harder by as progression of the questions. Let's get started with this. Over a period of 1 year, two points on opposite sides of a mid-ocean ridge are moved a distance of 4 centimeters apart. What is the distance in meters where 1 meter is 100 centimeters? So you have 4 centimeters x the actual distance. You have 1 meter and you have 100 centimeters. So you can do 100x equal to 4 divided by 100 divided by 100. Put in your calculator. 4 divided by 100 is 0.04 meters. That is your answer. They're using proportions. 32. Now you have if f times x minus 3 is equal to 2 times x minus 3, what is the value of x minus 3? So you could do here is expand and solve the normal way. You can do 7 distribute, you get 7x minus 21 is equal to distribute the 2x minus 6, subtract the 2x on both sides, and then add the 21s. You get 5x is equal to 15. X is equal to 3, but it's not asking for x is equal to 3, they're asking for x minus 3. Meaning it would be 3 minus 3, which is 0. That is how do you do 32, 33. One of the factors 2x cubed plus 14x squared plus 24x is x plus b, where b is a positive constant. What is the one possible value of b? So what you could do here is factor out, because once you factor out, you can get the factors and you can have it in this form. So what you could do here is take out the x's and the 2, so you get 2x out, you get rid of the 2x. Now you're left with x squared plus 7x plus 12 is equal to 0. You don't decide it to equal to 0 because you're not solving. And then you could factor out normally. 2x is equal to x plus, and then x plus, because if 2 plus signs. Oops. So you need a factor of 12, sum of 7. So 1, 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, 13, 8 and 7. So 3 and 4 matches, 4 and 3. So the two factors that you need a factor that has an x plus b form. This works and this also works. So what is it's asking for the value of b? So either 3 works or 4 works. So these are the two possible answers for 33. 34. The table shows the distribution of class sizes for 109 classes at high school. What is the median size at the high school? This is another calculator problem. You can just plug it in your calculator. So you go to the stat function, edit. And then so you have class size 21, oops, 21, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. Then you have 10, 13, 30, 36, and 20. You go to stat, calc, one variable 1, have list as L1, frequency list as L2, and it's asking for the median. So it would label median as 24, and that is your answer for 34. So this is a very straightforward problem. You just plug it in your calculator, make sure you're doing it, plugging it correctly, and then you should get your correct answer. 3 more questions left. 1, 2, 3, oh, sorry, 4 more. When Arvin walks from home to class, he burns 4.2 calories per minute. So 4.2x, we can have x as walking. Y is biking. X plus, and then 5.1y is equal to a total of 531 calories, which you can see at the end. If Arvin spent a total of 2 hours walking and bicycling from home to class in a week and burned a total of 531 calories, how many minutes did he spend walking? X plus Y could be 120 minutes because everything is in minutes. And now you have a system of equations. What you can do now is looking for how many minutes you walked, you can eliminate the y's. So you can multiply everything by 5.1. You get 5.1 x plus 5.1 y is equal to 5.1 times 120. You get 612, and then you get 4.2 x plus 5.1 y is equal to 531. Subtract both equations, you get eliminates the y's. You get 0.9 x, and then you get 612 minus 531 to get 81 calories, and then you divide 81 divided by 0.9 to get x is 90 minutes of walking. And that's how you do 35. System of equations. Just follow through your equations, make sure you're labeling properly, and then you should get the correct answer for that. 36. In the circle shown, point O is the center and diameter U segment UX bisects segment Y WY at point Z. So right here. Or the radius, sorry, the radius of the circle is 6. So this right here is 6. I can redraw. Right there is 6. And XZ is 2. Let me erase some of this. The XZ is 2. So if this is 2, this is the entire thing is 6, then you know O to Z is 4. If WZ is radical X right here, meaning what is the value of X? So when you have a chord that gets bisected, this side and this side are equal, this side and this side. So what you have in right here, you can make this into a right triangle. So let me draw this more clear for you. You have a right triangle. Radius would be 6 because that's the radius, that's that part. And now this leg would be the bisected part, which would be radical X. And this leg would be 4 because you have the 2x, the xz, which is 2, the entire radius is 6, 6 minus 2 is 4, which gives you this leg. Now you can use Pythagorean theorem to get 4 squared plus radical x squared is equal to 6 squared. 16 plus x is equal to 36, and then x is equal to 20. And that is your answer for 36. You just have to really break everything down, understand that when a chord bisects, when a chord gets bisected by something, both sides of the chord become equal. Make a Pythagorean theorem, and then a right triangle, use Pythagorean theorem, and that's how you can get the value of x, which is 20. Last 2 questions. Questions 30, 37, 38 refer to the following information. At a certain location in Columbia River, the velocity of the water flow at different depths was measured. The scatter plot shown gives 11 measurements of the velocity v in feet per second of the water at various depths d in feet. A line of best fit for the data is also shown. According to the line of best fit, what is the predicted velocity of the water in feet per second at a depth of 4 feet? So they give you a graph with the data. They're looking for the predicted velocity, which is the line of best fit at 4 feet. So if it's at depth of 4 feet, you just look at the graph, matches to 1.2, and that is your answer, the velocity. Last question, 38. For what fraction of the data points in the scatter plot is the velocity of the water flow predicted by the line of best fit greater than the measured velocity? So at what points is the predicted line of best fit greater than the measured velocity? So you have, let me erase it to get better. So what fraction of the data points, how many data points do you have? You have 11 measurements. So it's out of 11. There's a velocity predicted by the line. So when is the line of best fit greater than the actual? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it would be 5 out of 11. And that is your correct answer for 38. And now we are done with section 4 of the exam. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, okay, 5, okay, yes, okay. Just making sure. Okay, so now we are done with May 2022, the SCT section 4 of the math section. I hope you found great value in this webinar. If you have any further questions, you could reach out to the Embrace Tutoring team. You can check out the other webinars on YouTube, the TikToks. You can also look at the website, and if there's any other questions, you could feel free to reach out with email. I hope you find great value once again. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and please remember to contact us at info@embracetutoring.com to set up any personalized private tutoring sessions you would like. Stay tuned for future videos, and best of luck with your studies. We definitely encourage you to visit our Instagram as well as TikTok pages if you have any questions along the way. Take care, guys. Best of luck with your studies.